welcome to the Outdoor Pole Show. In this episode, we're going to go over something that may be near and dear to your heart this year in 2024, and that is the state of camping in the United States and into Canada for 2024. So as you all know, it's an election year in the United States, and there's a lot of noise about all sorts of disruptions and all sorts of chaos and just simply noise about stuff that makes you feel uncomfortable. And one of the things we know about camping in the outdoors is that is a safe place. It's a place people want to go to get away from it all, to lose some of that stress and just shut off the noise for a bit. And so as we look into 2024, there are a lot of hurdles that will be impacting people's travel and impacting the places you and I will be going this year. So let's go ahead and set the backdrop for the prediction for travel in 2024. So the backdrop of this is we're coming out of the COVID camping boom. In fact, during COVID, you saw an increase of anywhere from 30 to 40% in the number of folks who went camping and into the outdoors. The North American Camping Report, put out annually by KOA, documents this in great detail with a lot of detailed graphics about how people traveled, where they traveled, what their expectations are, and so forth. In a nutshell, what happened during COVID is a whole bunch of people bought RVs. Those people used those RVs, they enjoyed them, and they continued to use those in 2023, which was also a post-COVID year. As we go into 2024, we are seeing some changes though. And those changes are found in data coming both out of the North American Camping Report and also anecdotally just on forums and conversation pieces. So a few things have happened during 2023 and into 2024. And the biggest thing that's on a lot of folks' mind is inflation and cost of fuel. Now let's start with the cost of fuel. As of this moment right now in time, as this video is being recorded, fuel is more expensive than it has ever been at this moment in time. But relatively speaking, it is lower than it has been over the last 12 months, if that makes sense. In the spring of 2023, we had a spike in fuel prices and both diesel and fuel went up. As of right now in 2024, diesel prices are still high, but gas prices are relatively low. It's all relative, right? But the thing that's happened in that time frame is folks have gotten used to the price of fuel. So instead of having that massive jump and being able to feel that, folks are used to planning for more expensive fuel prices. So unless we have a huge bump in prices from where they are now, it means fuel has normalized and people's expectation of that price of fuel have normalized. What does that mean? Well, let's look at 2023. You had that massive bump in fuel prices that kind of preceded 2023, yet even during that time, 2023 ended up being another record year for RV travel. Overall, most campgrounds did very well in 2023. Their occupancy was down slightly, but their rates were up, and so from a financial standpoint, they did well. One of the other big trends that we saw within the outdoors, especially in 2023, is folks seeking boondocking spots. So either private property that wasn't a campground, Walmarts, or Harvest Host locations, and seeking out those alternative camping accommodations. As a result, folks were able to offset some of their costs by going to less expensive potential places to camp. Me personally, I'm not a big Walmart fan. I know some folks are, but that's not my thing. I'm usually in a state park or a private park, and we see that trend going up too. So people are staying in more state parks and national parks, and then a slight drop off actually in private parks, and you can see that in the KOA report as a percentage of overall travel. So what does that mean? That means a lot of the folks that bought RVs and are traveling now are seeking out alternative styles of camping and RVing. Will that trend continue? Possibly. It's nice to boondock, but the folks that were doing that because of ulterior reasons, meaning they didn't have any insight into the stays at private parks. They never did the state parks. And what we're hearing through the grapevine is a lot of those folks, while they enjoyed those times that they had at the Harvest Host and at the non-sanctioned camping places, they're trending away from that into more structured camping areas because they can expect the utilities they're going to get, and the big trend that we're going to see in 2024 is more of a localized RVing and camping travel. So instead of folks heading out on the massive road trips, people will still do that, but when we're looking at it in aggregate, folks will be traveling further distances less as a whole, meaning that spots that are within a 150-mile radius of a major urban area, they're going to be busy. People will be traveling to those locations. The locations that are further out, if you look at a map from like our map-based search at Campground Views, folks, locations that are further away from major destinations will be more available. So if you're wondering, hey, where can we go to really get away from it all? Go outside of a 150-mile radius of a major urban area. So think about spots in the Utah desert. Think about places in Montana and Wyoming, and even places in Colorado that are far away and more difficult for folks to get to. Those spots you're going to find availability and more solitude in your camping experience. One of the things to recognize is that RV sales, and this will be a big national news story, it already is to some degree, are at, I believe, their all-time low for the last decade. We're talking like 200,000 to just barely 300,000 units having been sold in 2023 for the entire year. Compare that to the year prior when they sold 600,000 units. So basically a 50% drop in the number of RVs that are sold. When you see that headline, the immediate reaction is, oh, wow, there's not going to be a lot of RVs out there. And that's just factually untrue, because coming off of the COVID boom, a lot of folks bought RVs. They acquired those RVs. Unfortunately, maybe one of them, you acquired those RVs at a very high price point. So the folks are not able to liquidate those quickly, meaning they're not able to sell them. So they still own this asset. They still own this item that they're making payments on. And as a result, they will be using it in 2024. And hence the projection that they'll be camping closer to home. You've got a big RV bill, but you got this beautiful rig sitting in the garage. Let's go camping this weekend. Where can we go? Well, I don't want to drive very far. Let's go to a local state park. Let's go to a local campground. Let's go to a local Jellystone or KOA location for the kids. As a result, people will make shorter trips in these RVs that they've recently acquired because it's an enjoyable lifestyle. You enjoy getting out in it. You might as well use the thing. It's sitting here anyways. And so you'll see that type of trend continue into 2024. The big question mark is what happens in 2024, and I will not make a prediction there. All I'll predict is that it's going to be crazy. It'll be nuts. There'll be so much news. I personally, my New Year's resolution is I've turned off all news in 2024. Just not going to pay attention to it. We'll see how things go. But as for your travels in 2024, if you want to get away from people, go more than 150 miles outside of a major urban area. There will be folks camping this year. It will be a busy year. But if you get away from those major urban areas, you'll find things are slower and less crowded. Already, here's a little insight. We're already seeing that trend in some of the warmer areas now. So this is being recorded in January of 2024. And what we know from the data is down in Florida, the parks are busy, not overwhelmed. In Texas, there's actually parks that are normally busy that are not that busy. And the same case is in Arizona. They're not empty. There's people camping. There's still snowbirds down there, and there's people still traveling down there. But it's not as crazy as it has been over the last 3 years. So I will expect that trend to continue into the summer of 2024. In fact, I think early spring and then fall, especially around September, if you're looking to get out and camp with nobody on the roads, that's the time to go, is those shoulder seasons. July 4th weekend will be busy. Labor Day, Memorial Day will be busy. All the other weekends in between, you should be able to find plenty of camping spots out there to go enjoy. So that's the 2024 camping prediction. The outdoor prediction will be coming soon on what to expect from the outdoor lifestyle and the overall experience you're going to have when you're out at these camping destinations. So with that, I wish you safe travels, and this ends the Outdoor Pulse Show for today.